Greetings and good morning. We are Crypto for Joe, cryptocurrency and blockchain ideas for your average Joe. Speaking this morning with Cayman Nava. Cayman, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. One of the things I want to broach this morning is voting. And I'll just say this as an average Joe. Average Joes are not very trustworthy of the voting situation because it's just, I'm very apolitical. But when you hear for 4 years, Russian interference, you couldn't go one day without hearing about Russian interference in our election. This election, we nipped it in the bud. There's there's absolutely the cleanest, sweetest thing. And if you say anything, you're a tinfoil hat wearing guy. So the conclusion I draw is that if your guy wins, the election was fair. But I'm looking at blockchain to play a lot more prominent role in the future of voting. So could you walk us through what that would look like?
Absolutely. I definitely think that there is a future in voting in blockchain. I think blockchain can definitely help bring transparency to some of the internals of the system. So one thing that I think there's concern around is how the votes get aggregated, and like, at a high level, how they get counted. And I think it was maybe Stalin who said something like, it doesn't matter how the people vote, who votes, it matters who's counting the votes. So, right now, there's not very much transparency into these private companies who count the votes, whether they're in the United States or elsewhere. You'd hope that they just take all the votes and then they add them all together. But of course, if you can't see what they're doing, there's no way to really tell. So ideally, in a blockchain-based voting system, all of that aggregation would be inherent to the rules of the system. And there would be some kind of transparency or some kind of auditability, accountability. Right now, there's not really a way for an average Joe to be able to verify or know that any of it is legit, other than saying, "Oh, I trust it." I think where there's trickiness is like with voting is there are some things that you want to be transparent and there's some things that you don't want to be transparent. So for instance, one thing that you do not want to be transparent is talked about a lot when people talk about blockchain voting is you don't want to actually be able to prove who you've voted for, because then it opens up the door to larger scale bribery. So if you can say, you can prove that you voted for a candidate A, then someone could say, well, I'm going to pay you $20 if you vote for candidate A, and then just come and show me your receipt, and then I'll pay you the 20 bucks. And having like receipts, digital receipts, makes this whole bribery thing be able to happen in an automated way. So you can just send out 20 million emails, and then, you just have enough money to pay everybody, and it makes it very easy. So
right,
it's really kind of, I think, a very nuanced system to design. And I do know that there are people working on it. So stay tuned.
Well, cheers to those folks. I look forward to that being the case in the future. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thanks for having me.